After putting a stop to the Black Tusk attack on the White House, Agent Kelso returned to New York to ensure the Haven settlement was also secure. But while we were rescuing members of our community that had been kidnapped, Kelso suddenly went missing. The harsh reality that hunters now walk among us has had many point the finger at Kelso and her sudden disappearance. Agents, we need to get to New York and find out what happened to her.
Hope you're not back to steal my dog. Okay, jeez. You can have the dog.
It's really good to see you, Roy.
Good to see you too, kid. Welcome. Hey, you tell her about the dog?
What about the dog? Is he sick?
Oh, no, nothing like that. Just, we thought he was a German Shepherd puppy, but it's been 3 months and he hasn't gotten any bigger yet. Probably still kind of mutt. Don't matter. He's cute as hell and never pees on the carpet. He can stay.
God, I missed this.
You okay, kid?
Not really, no.
You look tired. We kept your room in the basement. You're welcome to stay as long as you like.
Thank you, Paul.
Go get some sleep. You look like shit. Yeah, and for all our sakes, please, take a shower and put on some new clothes. You reach, kid.
Welcome back, Cassandra.
Cassandra?
Vanguard left you a present. Follow the breadcrumbs to claim your prize.
Who the fuck is Vanguard?
So this is obviously when Kelso first returned to Haven. At this time, we're busy rescuing hostages that were taken during the Black Tusk attack. I do like the banter around the dog, poking fun at ways never aged in game, but I'm going to replay a few snips that I think could be important. It's pretty hard to miss, but there's this figure walking out of sight, and Isaac can't identify them. I feel as though we're supposed to think or hope this is Keener. I know there are a huge number of people who are saying Keener is still alive, and I definitely love to see him coming back, but I don't think this is the case. Realistically, this person is inside Haven. There are guards everywhere. With a face as famous as Keener's, he couldn't just walk in. This person must be someone known to the settlement that is somehow masking their identity from Isaac, or someone posing as a civilian. It could be so many different people. It could even be Brian Johnson. He hasn't yet been killed at this point in time. Here we have Kelso reaching into a jacket and pulling out a watch. It's the same jacket she was wearing when talking to Rhodes and Benitez. So she has one watch on her belt, one on the inside of her wrist, and another one she just pulled out of her jacket. No idea why she has so many, and it's not like this new watch was planted there by someone else. She went straight into a jacket to grab it. But ignoring the fact that she has 3 watches for a second, maybe that undetected figure from earlier tampered with her watch while she was in the shower. Also, I find it strange that Kelso doesn't know who Vanguard is. I thought it was pretty well known throughout the division ranks that Vanguard was Keener's call sign. The name Cassandra comes up. I think this will become more important as we find out more. It's unclear whether we're supposed to know this person yet, and the only other Cassandra we've come across was from the division Compromised, who was briefly mentioned in the Mel Arnold rescue, but I don't think that's the same person. Cassandra Rains was the leader of a group of environmental extremists. In the book, they were trying to take down Texan oil refineries to help the world recover. I can actually see how this could tie into the current storyline, but I still don't think so, at least at this stage. This small cutscene completely explains the questions we had going into this season. Kelso returned to Haven. One of her watches, which happens to be running Anna, greets her as Cassandra, saying that Vanguard has left something for her. Kelso immediately leaves, following the clues, to find out what Keener has left behind. Kelso was first spotted at the gate control point. Agents would waste no time rushing over there and recapturing the compound, but there was no sign of her.
Hey! I don't know where she went after the gate. There's a gap in the timeline. See if you can pick up her trail.
After being alerted of a high-value target that was found near their location, agents run through the district and would end up fighting a large group of cleaners across a number of different rooftops. Running around using their marksman rifle as if it was a shotgun, the agents would mow the hostiles down, including their lieutenant.
Next Kelso sighting was at City Hall. Agent, I'd appreciate it if you took a look. Target down.
Once again spotted at City Hall, the agents make their way over there in hopes they would catch up with Kelso. Despite the horde of cleaners on site, the agents took no time in capturing the compound.
I didn't know things were so bad in New York. You hear the stories, but for people to consider Keener a hero, things must have been much worse than reported.
Following the movements of another high-value target, surrounded by a group of Rikers and then Black Tusk, the agents would continue finding clues that Kelso had left behind.
We got one of ours.
Birdie said our comms were compromised. Isaac just scanned and uploaded that note to the database. Looks like Kelso left you a paper trail. Target neutralized.
On completion of the high-value target, a note from Kelso was collected. The comms aren't safe. The Black Tusk and rogues have eyes and ears everywhere, and the hunters have access to all of it. I wish I could tell you where I am, but it's not safe. You're not safe. If we're together, we're a threat, especially here. Agent, I know you. You're smart. If you've found this, I know you're on the right path. Find me, and I can tell you everything I found out about Cassandra. These notes left behind by Kelso explains what she's been up to. As we suspected, it's looking like she isn't rogue and she isn't a hunter, regardless of how many watches she seems to be hoarding. Kelso has come across some intel that could lead to more information around what Keener was up to in his final days, as well as more information around the Black Tusk and the hunters. It's obviously something important, because it's very much out of character for Kelso to be concerned about her safety. What she has stumbled across is obviously something those in power are trying their best to keep from coming to the surface. Whoever this Cassandra is, I would hazard a guess at them being an agent who had some involvement with Keener or with others close to him. It could have been her who was spotted in Haven before she planted the first clue in Kelso's jacket. Through this manhunt, well, actually I guess we can't really call it a manhunt this time, a treasure hunt? Orienteering? Whatever it's called, we were able to find some more intel regarding Keener and his rogue agents who attacked City Hall in Warlords of New York.
I got you.
Thank you for the rescue. Again, Agent.
Please. Theo.
Those cleaners were going to kill me.
You were sneezing.
It's just allergies. Damn birch trees. No one's died of the poison in months.
You can't reason with fanatics.
Yeah, you're right.
Listen, it's not safe for you here.
It's not safe anywhere.
I've got a place. If you trust me, I can get you somewhere safe.
Thank you, Theo.
Keener, hold that boat. Got another civvy for transpo. Let me guess. Pretty girl is grateful to her hero? No. Well, I mean, she's cute, but look, I'm no hero.
I think you're cute, too.
5 minutes. Then we're leaving for the safe house. Dragov, thanks for the assist. We're clear. You can head back down to Wall Street.
Is it safe?
It's all right. You can come out now. They're gone.
Who were those guys?
LMB.
LMB?
Last Man Battalion.
What's the Last Man Battalion?
You ever heard of private military contractors who go in and destabilize regions to extract what little wealth and power there is to exploit?
Yeah, but that only happens in third world countries. This is Manhattan.
Welcome to the third world.
Things are going to get worse before they get better, huh?
Yeah. Do you have somewhere safe to stay?
Safe enough.
Good luck out there.
Thank you, Agent.
These occur well after Keener had recruited Theo, Dragoff, Conley, and Kajika into his ranks. As we can see here, his team was still very much involved with assisting those in need. We've seen this a number of times with Keener since the outbreak. We're led to believe that he is the #1 most evil person on the planet, but at the same time, he still seems to care for the people. These comms only further support my thoughts around what Keener was actually up to. Like I said before, no, I don't think he's a good guy, but I think he has some noble means behind some of his actions.
You have to help me shake this guy.
There you are.
Aaron! Well, aren't you persistent? Have you met Bridget? Nice to see you again, Mr. Keener.
Bridge. How's your dad?
Oh, wheeling and dealing with a cup of Kopi Luwak. You know Dad.
Absolutely. I hope he's still using the supplier I hooked him up with.
You know Dad. Once he commits to something, it's hard for him to change his mind.
I respect that about him.
I see you're not wearing your wedding ring, Mr. Keener.
Yeah, it didn't work out. Maybe third time's the charm.
I don't think you'll find the future Mrs. Keener here tonight, Aaron.
The night is young and Eminem is still single, so you never know.
Oh, good luck with that.
For those of you who don't remember, Bridget Viper Douglas was the only child of Charles Douglas, the co-founder of the military equipment company, Douglas and Harding. She too was recruited by the division, but would instead join up with the BTSU, supposedly before being activated. Eventually she would end up being the first target we take down in the Season 4 Manhunt. This event that Mackenzie Merritt, Bridget Douglas, and Aaron Keener are all at together would likely be one of those super rich charity events that they like to hold. For more information on Mackenzie, see the video I made on the Paradise Lost incursion. This will explain where she has come from. I'll have this in the top right hand corner in the description. The reason Keener is there is likely because of his previous job as a futures trader on Wall Street, which allowed him to rub shoulders with the elites of society. While Keener has always had a thirst for power, I think it's at these events where he was able to learn of what was happening among the 1%, where he would potentially learn of things that would ultimately lead to him separating himself from those calling the shots.
Why do you have a picture of Aaron Keener?
How do you know Division's enemy number one?
Are you kidding? Oh, that ugly watch, of course he is. God damn it, Bridge.
Bridge?
Bridget Douglas.
Faye's girlfriend.
Who's Faye?
Friend of ours. She's gone now. But taking down Keener was kind of her number one priority before she ran off with the Black Tusk. You know she wasn't really one of them. Do I? Paul, please. Fine. You're right. We don't speak ill of the dead.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you, Mac.
But Keener, is he really a threat?
He was a threat. Kelso and that agent who rescued you took him out of Liberty Island. Psycho was trying to launch that Eclipse bullshit of his with a missile.
Seriously?
Unfortunately, yes.
You know, I'm kind of glad I missed all this excitement. I thought Keener was a fuckboy. Guess it's a good thing we never went on that date.
Makes you wonder what really happened to those two ex-wives.
I don't feel so well. You mind if I take a shower and find a place to get some sleep?
Sure, you can use Kelso's bunk. She's rarely here nowadays. I'm sure she wouldn't mind sharing since the cleaners burned down your house.
Thanks. You got some clothes I can borrow? Mine smell like smoke and very expensive wine.
Sure. We can scrounge something up for you.
This intel is from after we were able to rescue Mackenzie from the Merritt estate during the Paradise Lost incursion. Here, Rhodes and Benitez discuss what has happened while she's been locked away in her mansion. It's then that she clicks as to the fact that Keener was an agent as well. She was already aware of the program because of Bridget Douglas. Keener's actions and some of these comms are confirming suspicions we've had for years now. Even though he was well and truly rogue and working through some huge plans to take down those in charge, he was still doing some good along the way. Even Manny noted that a lot of people in New York were calling him a hero. Of course, Keener could have been doing this for his own ulterior motives. Or maybe he was actually just doing some good. My personal opinion is that Keener never had any intentions of turning his back on the innocents caught up in the middle of this. If during his travels he crossed paths with someone who needed help, he would assist. Kelso was spotted at the derailed control point in the Two Bridges district. While the compound was heavily defended by Rikers, it didn't take agents long to figure out that Kelso was no longer on site.
Kelso is definitely up to something in Two Bridges. Keep looking, Agent.
After clearing out the control point, the agents would learn of a nearby Riker high-value target. Given their lack of leads at this point, they make their way over there to see if they can extract any intel from the hostile leader. After a very messy exchange, Manny suggests that agents check out another location in the district.
Target neutralized. Good work. Might be worth having a look near the Brooklyn Bridge.
Heading over to the Brooklyn Bridge control point, the agents are once again confronted by a huge defending force of Rikers. Fighting through the many waves, in an eventual counterattack, yet again, the agents come up empty-handed.
Keep looking, Agent. We need to find something that can tell us who took her.
The agents would continue to follow hostile leads through the district, removing all high-value targets they come across, until they finally receive a clue due to unusual hostile activity at the respite shelter. Black Tusk forces seem to be hunting something down. The agents quickly catch up to them and start working their way through the hostile ranks. Upon eliminating the Black Tusk leader, it was discovered that he was carrying another note from Kelso.
Friendly down!
That hostile had a note from Kelso. Target neutralized. Good work.
I think someone is following me. It's probably her. I swear she has more lives than a cat. But soon, they're gonna run out. Cassandra was right. There is more here, and the hunters in the Black Tusk, well, they may have the tech, but we can take it away from them. We just need the key. Now, we can split this up into two parts. In the first half, Kelso was talking about someone who was stalking her. This is obviously someone she knows or is aware of, because she comments on how she has more lives than a cat. Running through all of the potential options of characters we're aware of up until this point, there could be quite a few that meet the criteria. But realistically, it could be any number of people. Having been a little off the grid lately, I'm not completely up to date with what the community is speculating about. But I would hazard a guess that a lot of people are assuming that the stalker could be Fei Lao. This would actually make sense with the story arc, but I really don't see this as being the case. At the beginning of Season 9, the devs quite definitively ended Fei's existence, including the taking away of her body and burying her. I think the stalker will either be someone we haven't heard of up until this point, or will be a minor character that we know very little about, and their story will be expanded on later on in the season. The second half of the Kelso note talks about a key that will shut down the Black Tusk's technological advantage. Now, we know from previous manhunts or rescues that Barden Schaefer is the key. He was stated as being the one who can gain access to the Black Tusk HQ through all of the heavily secured biometric scanning, etc. But it makes me wonder, why hasn't Natalia just deleted his credentials from the system to stop him from gaining access? She knows we have him. They launched a full-on attack on the White House to get him back. Maybe there is more to it than just him being able to open the door for us. Realistically, they could have just blown up the White House and killed everyone inside. But they didn't. They were trying to capture him. I feel like we're going to learn more about what Schaefer actually knows and can do for us, if and when he ever wakes up.
Viv, we're clear. One survivor. Sir, are you okay?
I think so. Those Rikers came out of nowhere.
I know. It's gonna be okay. Are you hurt?
No, I don't think so.
Can you walk?
Yes.
Do you have somewhere safe to stay?
I thought I was safe at Haven.
If you trust me, I've got a place you can stay. You ready?
I think so.
It's just a short boat trip, and you'll be on safer shores.
And I can really leave anytime I want to?
You're not a prisoner, and I'm not your warden.
They're wrong about you, you know?
People often see what they want to see.
I think I'd like to stick around for a while, if that's okay.
More than okay. You're welcome to stay as long as you want. Kajika, get the boat ready. We're leaving in 10.
Keener, hold that boat. Got another city for transpo.
Let me guess. Pretty girl who is grateful to her hero.
No. I mean, she's cute, but I'm no hero. I think you're cute too.
5 minutes. Then we're leaving for the safe house.
Well, I thought we were leaving in 10.
We are, but young lovers lose track of time. Better to be early than left behind.
These are more comms with Keener and his rogue agents rescuing civilians. Another situation where he shows that even though he's gone rogue, he still plays towards his original mission, to a certain extent. His beef is with the government, the Black Tusk, Natalia, and McManus, which, when you think about it, they're all one and the same at this point in time. I find it interesting that he's shipping people across the river and away from the settlements like Haven. It's like Keener has his own settlements running. We know the next DLC is in Brooklyn. Perhaps this is what we'll be coming up against. Maybe a new faction, or settlements of civilians who are loyal to Keener and hostile to the Division.
This really is quite the party. M&M.
How do you know that nickname?
Mutual friend.
That.
Of course.
Cal, actually.
What's your name?
Keener. Aaron Keener.
Oh, the soldier turned venture capitalist.
I see my reputation precedes me.
I know you made Cal a lot of money, and he made you an offer you couldn't refuse.
That wasn't an offer so much as a calling.
Sure. Well, have fun. The drinks are free, and the women are smarter than you, so don't try anything funny.
So tell me, M&M,
Mac.
why haven't you joined our little operation?
Your fund or whatever secret society issues a smartwatch.
I know what you're talking about.
It's not the first time I've seen one of those.
I can't really talk about it. But if you'd like to get a drink sometime...
We're having a drink now.
We are. But there's too many eyes and ears to be that candid with you. Mac.
What do you want, Keener?
To make you breakfast.
I have a personal chef for that, but thank you for your donation to the clinic. Your tax break will save a lot of lives this winter.
This is back to Aaron Keener at the benefit party with Natalia, McManus, Mackenzie Merritt, and all of the elites of society. I have no idea where this story arc is going, but for some reason, it just makes me like Keener more. I know he's playing a bit of a schmoozy fuckboy here, but he does it so well. Also, I've said it before, but Mackenzie Merritt is voiced by the narrative director, Lauren Stone, so I can't help but think she's having a lot of fun with some of the stuff she gets to say to Keener. At this stage, I can't tell what sort of information we'll be gaining from these comms, but I have a feeling it's leading up to the very moment when Keener realized something was off. Perhaps these will make more sense as we get further through them. Kelso was spotted at the waterfront control point in the financial district. Well defended by the cleaners, the agents took their time methodically taking down all of the guards holding the compound. Manny would be heard over the comms, stating that they have found more evidence of Kelso in the district, and the agents need to continue clearing out the hostile presence.
Found more footage of Kelso in the financial district. Secure the area and see if you can find any leads on what she was doing there.
Agents would quickly be alerted to a couple of high-value targets that were last spotted on Stone Street. They waste no time making their way over there. After fighting across a few city blocks and then across a couple of rooftops, the HVTs would be hunted down and eliminated. From here, Manny suggests another location in the district.
Celebration Hotel. Target neutralized. Forward.
Heading over to the Celebration Hotel control point, they find it once again completely surrounded by cleaner forces. While the agents perhaps showed their lack of experience in this location of the city, leading up to a couple of heart-stopping moments, they were successful in cleansing the hotel of the occupying forces.
Civilians in distress.
Agent, there has to be something here we're missing. Kelso is the last person who would choose to hang out in the financial district. She hates rich people.
The agents would continue following hostile leads throughout the district, removing all high-value targets they came across, until Isaac suddenly detected something at the Federal Reserve. Black Tusk Special Unit, Whiskey 1, led by Hurricane Clark, are apparently closing in on Kelso. Locating him and backing his troops into the corner of the reserve, the agents took no time at all in mowing down the leader and discovering another note from Kelso that had been left behind. It wasn't exactly a clean fight, but we'll just call it a more time-efficient way of getting back to Haven.
Here we come!
That's your target. That's weird. That hostile had to know Kelso
System. Serious trauma detected.
did. You got the target. Nice.
I knew Cassandra wasn't a traitor. I wish she could have told me what she was up to, but I get it now. I understand why she couldn't tell me, why she couldn't tell anyone. She needed to get the key first. We have the key. Find me, I have so much to tell you. But this time, there was also a video recording discovered and could be accessed back in Haven.
Warmer. Warmer. Cold. Warmer. Cold. Red hot.
Echo detected. Glad you could make it, Cassandra. And now before you say anything, I want you to take a deep breath and promise you'll keep an open mind. I need you to listen to me, to truly listen and be open to admitting that maybe, just maybe, you were wrong. I don't expect you to trust me, but I think we can help each other with our little hunter problem. Oh, I know you must be thinking, hey, what could Aaron Keener possibly tell me about the hunters that I don't already know? You think me and my rogues have been targeting the division? This couldn't be further from the truth, Faye. If you really want to stop the hunters, I can stop them. Well, I can't. But if we work together, we might stand a chance.
What the fuck?
Present detected. Two-factor authentication required.
This recording shows Anna leading Kelso to a certain area of the city in New York. This season has led to a number of questions we've been trying to figure out along the way, like whose watch is Kelso using? Who is Cassandra? Who is following Kelso? What is in the box? And what was Keener's potential solution for the hunters? This single cutscene has answered a couple of these questions straight away, and further confirms that Keener was in fact working against the much larger issue playing out in the background, Natalia and the Black Tusk, and Calvin McManus and his hunters. Before I get further into this, I want to play the comms we received during this mission, as some of these clarify a few points that I'd like to discuss.
She was hesitant at first, but she liked the mythology and agreed.
Great. Happy to hear Cassandra is ready.
And you're okay with the compromise?
If the only thing I have to give up is two-factor authentication to activate the network, that's a sacrifice I'm more than willing to make.
Theo Parnell and Aaron Keener talking about the codename, Cassandra. This is funny, I'd previously disregarded the heavy community speculation around the mythology of the name, yet here it is being called out within the game comms, so my bad. It actually makes complete sense for Faye to have this codename associated with her. I guess I just hadn't really taken it seriously that Cassandra was in fact being used as a codename. Cassandra is a name of Greek origin, meaning shining upon man, a name shared with a Trojan princess who was given the gift of prophecies by Apollo, but cursed so no one would believe her. Although they never heeded her warnings, Cassandra's insight into the future allowed her to predict the Trojan War. Given what Faye was doing before we took her out, I couldn't think of a better codename. She knew what was playing out behind the scenes, but she couldn't say anything. She needed the cover of appearing like a defected rogue agent in order to gain the trust behind enemy lines and work towards hunting out a weakness that could take them down. But what was their plan? I believe it was far more than her just taking out President Ellis. Was it just to gain the trust of Barden Schaefer? No, I think there's more to this. Also, at the end there was talk about her giving up the two-factor authentication in order to unlock the network. Why would Faye want this? And does this have anything to do with the box that zapped Kelso at the end of the cutscene? Two-factor authentication by definition is a security process which users provide two different authentication factors to verify themselves. Obviously, by using Faye's watch, Kelso wasn't able to provide a second authentication to access the box. Actually, that could be it. Going back a couple of steps, Faye wanted the two-step authentication removed from unlocking the network as a backup plan. If Faye was unsuccessful in her mission, she knew the agents would recover her watch, especially Kelso. Loosening up the security on her watch meant that Kelso was able to pick it up and finish Faye's mission, which is essentially where this whole season has been heading.
Well, you've certainly gotten their attention now.
That was always the plan.
And how exactly do I fit into your little plan?
You're the honeypot.
And what bear do you think I can trap?
A cute little one-eyed koala.
You're kidding, right?
Not at all.
That's not gonna go over well with the ex.
Which ex?
Xander. She hates your little one-eyed koala.
Never pictured you with the JTF. But I suppose people can always surprise you.
She's with the True Sons now.
Oh, that does create some complications. And opportunities.
If everything goes to plan, we may need her help.
We can't do this without Faye.
I know.
So, you in? Honey?
As long as you promise never to call me that again, sure. Why the hell not?
This conversation takes place after Keener and his rogues attacked City Hall, before Kelso and the DC agents arrived in New York. Here, Keener's essentially pimping out Bridget Viper Douglas to bring the one-eyed koala, aka Faye Lau, aka Cassandra, on board with their mission. Keener specifically states that they can't do this without Faye. I wonder why this is. What is it about Faye that is so valuable to this mission?
Initial contact made.
How'd it go?
Koala has Alicia in custody, so not great.
At least you got away. More than I can say for Javier.
What happened to Kajika?
Kelso and her agents from DC. They are better than I expected.
Well, she is relentless.
Am I targeting the wrong ally?
No. Kelso. She was CIA. Nat would never. Faye is the right choice.
Here, Viper is updating Keener on the contact she has made with Faye. This is around the time that Kelso and the DC agents are storming southern Manhattan and taking out Keener's agents. Keener underestimated them. Him querying whether they targeted the right ally is interesting. While Viper states that Kelso wouldn't have been suitable due to her personality and background, it still paints the picture of what they were looking for. We need to remember that Bridget Douglas at this time was never activated as an agent and was actually working with the Black Tusk. So Douglas knows what Natalia is looking for, and Faye is still a better candidate to infiltrate their ranks. Working with Viper, Keener assisted in planting Faye within the Black Tusk. But what is it that Faye can do that Viper couldn't? Back to the video footage. Anna is leading Kelso to the room where she would find the echo left behind by Keener, intended for Faye. But as soon as she enters the room, we see the warning pop up in the top right corner. So what this says to me is that the person who is stalking Kelso is still there. Remember the last time we saw this at the start of the season in Haven? I still have no clue who this could be, but I certainly don't think it's Cassandra now. So I guess the big question now, other than obviously where is Kelso, is what did Keener have planned to beat Cal's hunters? Is that what's in the box? Does this have anything to do with his Eclipse virus? Or has he come up with something less detrimental to the wider public? Perhaps something regarding a mobile SHD server, or something similar to Myra's countermeasure program to shut down any technological advantage they have. Whatever it is, we need to find Kelso first, and then figure out how to get into that box. I wonder if the figure stalking Kelso is actually waiting for us to join up with her, where together we could open the box. Perhaps our watch, Keener's old watch, is the answer. It's looking very much like Keener and Faye never were able to take down the hunters. The stalker could even be a hunter, and is just waiting for us to claim the prize before springing an attack and grabbing what could ultimately be the downfall of the hunter program.
Keener, come here.
You changed your mind about breakfast?
No. Bridge, show Aaron your bracelet.
White gold or silver?
Titanium.
Very nice. A Merit original?
Custom-made cuff. So my friend here can hide that ugly-ass watch for formal events. Show him, Bridge. Mac, you're drunk. I'm tipsy. Don't be shy. If you show him yours, maybe he'll show you his.
It's fine. You don't have to.
Don't be shy now. You were flashing yours all over the bar. See, look, it's the same watch. Your turn, Bridge. Fine.
Welcome to the club.
Pretty sure I've been a member longer than you have, Keener.
And here we are back at the benefit party, where Mackenzie Merritt has now consumed a little too much alcohol and is now making an absolute ass of herself. We've all been there. Obviously they were breaking the super secret division agent protocol, but I'm sure they would have found out eventually. I'm still expecting the storyline to lead us down to the moment where Keener suddenly saw the light around what Natalia and Kelvin are actually doing. But for now, I'm just happy hearing more from and about one of my favorite characters in the franchise. Kelso was spotted at the boathouse control point in the Battery Park district. Rushing over there, the agents find the area well under the control of the cleaners. With assistance from the JTF, they were able to clear the compound. However, there was no sign of Kelso.
Shit! They're in cover over there! We better pull back!
If we could figure out what she was doing, maybe we could figure out who took her.
Following a lead on a couple of high-value targets that are roaming through the district, the agents follow their path of destruction and quickly catch up to them. Through a mix of poor aim and heavily armored foe, this took a little longer than it should have. However, they would eventually eliminate them and be guided by Manny to the next location.
Check out the Widow's Web. Target neutralized. Good work.
Making their way over to the Widow's Web control point, the agents were greeted by a large group of Rikers who were holding the area. Calling into the JTF for support, they would meticulously take down the hostile forces one by one. Although at times, it did feel like they'd lost all enthusiasm to retake the compound.
Footage of Kelso near the Hugh Carey tunnel. Secure the area and see if you can figure out what the hell she was up to.
After rolling through a few more high-value targets in the district, the agents would eventually be alerted of a group of Black Tusk who also seemed to be looking for Kelso. The agents rush into their last known location in an attempt to stop them before they find her. Meeting them at Castle Clinton, the agents waste no time in taking out the hostile presence and would once again find a note left behind by Kelso.
Another note? Was that hostile on her trail, or did you just shoot the messenger? Target down. Good job.
I know how to use the key. Cassandra was so close. A couple more weeks and they could have ended all of this, but they couldn't tell us. The network hasn't been right since the attack on the Kansas core, but I can fix this. Now that I know what she was trying to do, I can fix it. Find me, Agent, so we can put an end to all of this insanity. This latest note from Kelso shows that she's getting closer to whatever Cassandra, or Faye, was working towards. There is a little bit of a nod to the Operation Crossroad novels there, which discuss the attack on the Kansas core, but she is once again urging us to keep following her leads and catch up with her.
Termite couldn't do anything?
No. She's too far gone.
What are we doing here, Keener?
What we have to.
But at what cost? Are we just supposed to keep sacrificing our friends and mourning people like Viv?
I don't know that she would really want us to mourn her. She knew the risks.
I liked Viv. She was smart. She was one of us.
She was. And if we quit now, she dies in vain.
So we keep going and hope we don't lose anyone else before we finish the mission.
How's it going, by the way?
Good. Schaefer's in contact. Figured it was better to save the honey for the big reveal.
You gonna tell her you're a hunter?
That's more of a third date conversation.
Cal really misjudged you.
He saw what he wanted to see. Daddy's perfect little recruiting tool. The boarding school princess who could open up brand new markets.
I'm still waiting for the crystal-studded Merritt and Douglas collab. You would have made millions with a certain kind of high-end clientele.
Yeah, when all this is over, I don't think Mac is going to want to have anything to do with me.
Because of Faye?
No, Nat. They have a very complicated relationship, and I chose sides. Probably the wrong side. But I'm working on fixing that.
Here, we have Bridget Viper Douglas talking to Keener after the death of Vivian Conley. We see that Viper has been working with Keener since quite early on, before his attack on City Hall. We know from the Descent comms that Viper and Mackenzie Merritt are friends, and given Mac's shaky relationship with Natalia, this is why Viper expects she'll soon be losing contact with her. But Viper is just playing her part at this stage. She isn't a friend of Natalia. She has managed to work her way into the Hunter program, but in reality, she's working in the background towards the same goals as Keener, to put a stop to Cal and Nat's plans.
come with us. I can't. This is my home. You don't know what's really going on. Nat's made space for you. You'll be safe with us. I'll take my chances with the poison. I know you've had your issues in the past, but Mac, please, come with us. We're your family. My family is gone. All I have is my community, and I can't abandon them now. Your community? I opened my house to the people who couldn't make it off the island. That's kind of you, Mac, but you can't stay there. It's not safe. You think it's safe with Natalia Sokolova and her drones? Oh, the Warhounds are actually pretty cute. Bridge, Nat basically started a death cult. I can't be a part of that. Oh, she did not start a death cult. Sorry. Private military company. You can't tell me the Black Tusk isn't a well-paid cult. Well, I guess you can count me in as a cult member, because I am one of them now. The government is a shit show, and someone needs to keep the world from eating itself. Drag off?
No.
You know, I don't think people on your team have a very good track record of staying alive.
I got them this far.
They knew the risks.
How is your mission going?
Good. She's on board. She's ready to infiltrate and help us take down the usurper.
She doesn't suspect I'm involved?
So far, no. As far as I can tell. She got your invitation. But she doesn't seem to see any connection between the two of us.
Well, I guess it's good she wasn't at Mac's benefit last summer.
Yeah, I can't really picture Faye in a ball gown. Or a flapper dress. That's, not her style.
You know the honeypot isn't supposed to fall in love with the bear, right?
That's not what's happening.
Stay focused. Stay on mission. When you let emotion control you, you lose your judgment. That's when things get dangerous.
And that's why you'll live forever, because the only person you care about is you, right?
I care about other people, but I don't let that get in the way of doing what I know needs to be done. They underestimated me once. They won't make that mistake again.
Sure. Whatever you say, Vanguard.
Once again, talking with Keener, Viper catches up after James Dragoff has been taken out by the Division. This is more of an update as to what Viper is doing behind enemy lines. But given the relationship we know she had with her, the honey is Faye. This is where Faye was being brought on board with the Black Tusk when she was initially planning to go rogue. Keener was involved the whole time, but decided it was probably better that she wasn't aware of this straight away.
Are you sure you can do this?
Yes.
We'll only get one shot at her.
We already did the hard part. I don't know how she did it, but Douglas got Faye's clearance approved.
I don't trust it. I think Nat's up to something.
You're paranoid.
She's too close to Cal. It's only a matter of time before she has the hunters in her back pocket.
Well, with Ellis in her pocket, Cal is supposed to follow suit, right? I mean, that's why they killed Mendez and my dad, right?
Are you sure you're ready to go after her?
You worried I'll get too emotional and fuck up the mission?
Yes.
This isn't about my dad, not anymore. This is about making sure that the people with that kind of power can't wield it over everyone.
We can't let her redesign the world in her image.
We're here to save what remains and rise from the ashes.
Before there's nothing left to save.
So at this point in time, Faye has now been put in place within the Black Tusk ranks. Keener is concerned about how easily this was achieved. We've had a lot of intel that has alluded to this moment, but I think this is the first clear black and white confirmation of what Keener is fighting against, what he's been warning us about for all these months since going rogue. He isn't even particularly concerned about Kelvin McManus. It's Natalia that he's trying to stop. Agents receive intel that Kelso was last spotted at the stranded tanker in the Two Bridges district.
Agent, Isaac got a ping from Kelso's watch at the stranded tanker. If we know her location, other people will soon if they don't already. This may be our last chance to bring her home.
The entrance was heavily guarded by wave after wave of Black Tusk forces. Undeterred, the agents push forward.
Hostiles on sight. Looks like the Black Tusk beat you to the tanker.
The Black Tusk threw everything into this fight, proving to the agents that they were definitely in the right location.
Attention, all units. Cassandra located at the tanker. Eliminate the agents and intercept the asset.
Cassandra? Lau is dead. We recovered her body. They cremated her. There's no way.
As they get closer to the tanker, Black Tusk reinforcements aren't in short supply, as soldiers continue to be dropped off with the support of a Marauder-class quadcopter.
All available units, intercept the division. We can't let them get to Cassandra. The countermeasure deactivated the rogue network. If they get back online, you'll have to answer to me.
Natalia's concerns about Myra Kanhai's countermeasure program certainly reinvigorated the enemy, as a number of highly ranked True Sun lieutenants would join the fight, as well as a hunter.
Malfunctioning.
All remaining units, forget Cassandra. Intercept the division.
More waves of True Suns would be delivered to the agent's location, but at this point, it was looking like any hold they may have had on the area has been lost.
Is anyone still alive? God damn it. Anderson, where the hell did you find these peons?
Unknown network detected. Area secure. Isaac's still getting a ping from Kelso inside the tanker.
Agents continue to follow the signal that seems to be coming from inside the tanker. After cautiously moving through, they come across a familiar-looking crate, and as they approach it, Kelso can be heard over the earpieces.
Unknown network detected.
Agent, glad you can make it. It's really good to see you.
Vanguard identification confirmed. Rogue network activated. Agent status, rogue.
What do you say, Agent? You ready to see how far down the rabbit hole really goes?
System clone complete. I've missed you, Vanguard. Welcome back, sir.
We're set. This is gonna be fun.
So, my god, where to begin? We've found Kelso. Keener and Theo are alive. Kelso has been working with Keener, and this whole manhunt was just Kelso leading us to a crate that we watched Kelso get zapped by, and then somehow she convinced us to give it a crack too, which also led to us being zapped. Then, while unconscious, Keener would strut in, clone our watch, which was his watch originally, open the crate, make off with what looks like a mobile SHD server, and then drive off into the sunset with Kelso and Theo. There is quite a lot to unpack here, and I've seen a lot of confusion around the community around what has actually happened here, so hopefully I can clarify some of it. But before I break it down, let's just quickly run through the comms, so we can have all the information in front of us.
Everything's set. I'll give the lady the package, and you'll open the hovering back door. Once we are on both systems, we will have enough reach to distribute Glass's code to all interested parties. I'm en route. I know you can't talk, but if you agree, 2 clicks. Excellent. Time for the big show. Did she accept the terms?
Yes, she will infiltrate Black Tusk and keep up her end of the bargain.
Excellent. She needs to upload Theo's program from the watch to their comms. Did she get Kajika's watch?
She did.
And they didn't suspect anything?
They did not.
I knew she would be perfect for this.
She is. And if you hadn't been such an asshole, maybe you could have worked with her directly instead of doing all these extra steps.
You can't change the past, and we can never predict the future. We have to make the choices that make the most sense at the time, and hope we made the right call.
Sure. Remind me not to let you have my 6. Pretty sure you're gonna get me killed, Keener.
Or I will make you immortal.
Unless you've got a secret resurrection cocktail in your bag of viral tricks, I don't want the kind of immortality you are offering.
These 2 comms continue on from the ones we collected in Part 4, where Keener is talking to Bridget Viper Douglas about his plans to take Natalia down. Here they have now managed to get Fei Lau on board, and with Viper's help, she will be infiltrating the Black Tusk ranks and attempting to gain their trust. She was also tasked with grabbing Kajika's watch, which would have been easy enough because we handed over all the watches to Faye while taking out Keena's rogues in Warlords of New York.
You don't have to use it, but if you want to, we now have the Eclipse ready for distribution.
Keener, even if I could explain how I got my hands on that bullshit of yours, I want nothing to do with it.
Even if you're cornered by 5 hunters and about to die?
If I ever get cornered by 5 hunters, I deserve to die.
You're good, Douglas, but you can't control everything.
Are you really willing to put this mission in jeopardy so you can eclipse your enemies?
It's merely a very helpful tool in the war against what's coming.
Yeah, and your tool almost made Cassandra walk.
What are you talking about?
Scuttlebutt. She's pissed. She never agreed to this and thinks you've gone too far. The network activation is one thing, but innocents were killed at City Hall, and she is ready to take your head.
She may want to, but she's not ready. She's the one who wanted the fail-safe 2-factor authentication. The network can't be activated without both of us on board, and if she wants to stop Cal and the hunters, she needs me.
The Eclipse virus. Viper has always been against this creation of Keena's, and to be fair, this is one of those situations where he's gone too far. In fact, it would seem that Faye was pretty close to pulling out because of this. Is the Eclipse virus really just another weapon for Keena, or is there more to it? Why did he launch it onto City Hall? What was he trying to achieve here? And regarding the 2-factor authentication, Faye only agreed to help if she had the assurance that Keena wouldn't be able to proceed with activating the network without her being alive.
How could you let this happen?
What are you talking about?
Division reports. Theo's off the board. Kelso's agents took him out.
Took who out?
You? You're okay?
Yeah.
Explain.
Theo was a test for the big show.
You asshole. I heard the comms. You abandoned him and left him to die.
Good. If you bought that, so did the division.
Isaac confirmed your death.
Isaac confirmed there were no vital signs coming from my watch. It's really not that hard to trick him, especially with a decoy and a little help from Anna.
Anna. What? Where did you get a copy of Anna?
You didn't tell her?
Didn't seem relevant.
You have one, don't you?
Not just one.
Theo's got enough mobile shade surface to build a national rogue network. We just need a better signal to deliver the key to our allies.
I got a plan for that, too.
Of course you do.
You ever seen the Statue of Liberty?
With this one, it's being explained how Keena and Theo were able to fake their deaths, using the vulnerabilities in Isaac's coding, along with the help of Anna. Theo also mentions the use of a decoy. We know he used one. Did Keena also use this at the end there, on the dock? This is also where it's confirmed that Theo managed to extract Anna through one of the mobile SHD servers. We've learned through the descent comms that Claire Ortiz left Anna's code deep within the servers, and that if someone had the know-how and the time, they would be able to find her. But not only one mobile SHD server. Theo has a whole bunch of them, enough to cover the country, along with using the Statue of Liberty to essentially be used as a signal booster to provide access to Anna to all rogues loyal to Keena's cause. I have never received so many comments, tags, and mentions at the end of a season as I did at the end of this manhunt. And a good chunk of them was stating how right I was in videos that I created up to 4 years ago, where I was claiming that Kelso was rogue. While I love that so many immediately thought of me when this type of stuff comes up, I was actually quite wrong. It was simpler times back then, more black and white, rogues versus agents, good versus bad, or so we thought. I was alluding to Kelso being rogue because of a number of dodgy things that I was super overanalyzing. I was saying she was potentially straight up bad. These days, after all this time, it isn't so simple anymore. Rogue doesn't mean what it used to. We now know from the descent comms how very flawed Isaac really is, and how due to the limitations of his coding, that many agents have been flagged as rogue, even though they were just doing their job. Like the example Cal gave around an agent who was wounded and under heavy fire, and after breaking into a pharmacy to take cover and patch herself up, Isaac flagged her as rogue and shut down her SHD tech, which led her to being surrounded and gunned down. But I'm not saying that rogues are the good guys and that Division are the bad guys. It's much blurrier than that. Yes, there are bad rogues, but there are also bad agents. After all, the bad rogues started as agents. In the clan I'm a part of, DFA represent, I've seen quite a number of agents do some pretty horrific things to other agents in the Dark Zone. So why all the secrecy and deceit? Why did Kelso lead us into a trap so Keena could clone our/his watch? Because it's still early days. People don't understand. Look at how Kelso herself acted when Faye turned rogue. Even after we found out that she was doing it for the good of the country and was undercover, some, like Paul Rhodes, never believed she was good and still doesn't. Kelso made a sacrifice joining up with Keener because, like Faye, she sees this as potentially being the only way to put a stop to what Cal and Natalia are doing. You can see the disappointment in her face when her watch changes. There is every possibility that the SHD network could be shut down at any time by the acting president, whoever that is. And I would say that there's a good chance it's Kelvin McManus at this point. What Keener and Theo have done is they have unlocked a far superior version of Isaac and opened up a whole new network using mobile SHD servers across the country, so that if the division does get shut down, and I think it will at some point, there is somewhere for all of the agents to go and keep fighting the good fight, albeit with a red watch. This is all starting to sound like me spouting propaganda for Keener's mission, and Story Mode is likely to have a field day with this, but I believe we need to put aside our differences for now and band together with the rogues. Well, actually, I'm not going to call them that anymore. It's misleading these days. I'll start referring to them as Red Rings. For the most part, they're no more rogue than us. Yes, I feel like Keener was right, and yes, he's done some pretty terrible stuff up until now, and I'm sure he'll be dealt with later on in some way. But for now, I can't really see a better option. He is small fry in comparison to what Nat and Cal are doing, and if there is a chance working with him that we could take them down, we should take it. We've been fighting the Black Tusk and the Hunters for a long time. Sure, we've been killing a lot of them, but their numbers and resources at this stage seem unlimited. We're not getting very far, and we're certainly not getting there fast enough. They attacked our base of operations, the White House, and took whatever they wanted, and there was very little we could do about it. It's clear that we're going to be following Keener, Kelso, and Theo into Brooklyn, and there he's likely to have a larger following through the number of civilians he's rescued, as well as other Red Rings, maybe even pro-Keener settlements. Manny, poor Manny, he's a little slow and we'll only see it from the way it looks from the outside, and that we need to hunt Kelso down. But we know. We have the last note from Kelso. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you. Manny wouldn't understand. He would try to stop me. The effects will wear off soon, you'll be okay. I need to finish what she started so we can win this war. Kelso is picking up from where Faye left off after we killed her. I hope we aren't put in a situation of having to do the same with her, based on the shallow views of a few who are unable to see the bigger picture. Damn, I'm even starting to sound like Keener now. Another thing I was asked about were my thoughts around the whole coming back from the dead of Keener and Theo. I'll admit, my initial reaction was, well, actually no, my first reaction when watching that cutscene was, holy f***. But my second reaction after playing through was a little more conflicted. I'm generally not a big fan of the whole back from the dead scene in stories like this. It feels a bit too cheesy in sci-fi for me. But the more I re-listened to the comms throughout the season and analysed the cutscenes, yes, this is why my videos take me so long to make, it grew on me, and it actually started to make sense. I still have questions around the body and what happened there. With Theo, he was just a pleb following orders, let him rot. But with Keener, he was the #1 target for the division at that time. Why wasn't his body taken away? I'm 100% on board with the whole Isaac and it being manipulated to say an agent is dead, and Theo talked about using decoys and Anna, which certainly helps. But we ripped his watch off him, so it can't have been a decoy. However, we need to remember all of the stuff we're starting to learn about the simulation program that Ortiz Robotics created. But it isn't that he was a simulation. Well, not all of him. He was bleeding out, and Kelso was trying to stop him from dying so she could find out what he did. Someone definitely died there, but it obviously wasn't Keener. I feel as we learn more about the simulation program, the more sense this will all make. The reason I said conflicted around this revival is because Keener is one of the best characters in this franchise in my opinion. I'm certainly not unhappy that he's back. In fact, I'm going to end this video with the final comms he released this season, because this is the most Keener shit I've heard since the end of the Division 1 in the West Side Pier. He is the arrogant prick that we all know and love, and I won't lie, if it isn't obvious by now, I'm sold on the direction he is claiming we need to take. He knew. He always knew. We need to be cautious, of course, but what do we have to lose? We're fighting a losing battle as it is. This is the very definition of extremis malice, extrema remedia. Extreme evil, extreme remedy. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
I know what you're thinking. The first wave's prodigal son has returned. Now, I still believe, deep down, that you really do get it. After everything you've been through, after everything you've seen, can you really still believe in the division? In Cal's division? You know, I have to admit that I made a mistake. I misjudged you. Misjudged Lau, too. But eventually she came around, and I hope you will too. The more you know, the more you will realize that I was right. We're the same. We are survivors. But you need to ask yourself, who has earned the right to tell you what to do? How many more good people have to die for the brass to survive? How many more people need to die so that Nat can have her little empire? I know you signed on to save what remains, but sometimes what remains isn't worth saving if all it does is kill you faster. I know you thought you got me. You saw my body, you felt my corpse, you watched my lips flap through your contact lens, and ISAC declare, Agent deceased. Agent deceased. But, the identification was never confirmed. Our little performance was enough to convince the powers that be we were gone, no longer a threat, and Lau was with the Black Tusk, so we could continue with our work. Agent, I know you're wondering if you made the right choice, staying the course. I want to build a bridge between us, another safe haven, if you will. And now that Kelso has seen the light, I hope you will too. See you soon.